I hand it over to Ashton, um, welcome. That was just a little prep talk for you guys. Welcome to those of you who are new to the team. My name is Caroline Foster. I'm the mama bear of the Fit for His Glory Sisters. If I haven't met you, I am so excited that you are here. Thank you for partnering with us on this mission to help people get fit and healthy and ultimately point them to Jesus. Like, that is what we do, whether it's forward facing or behind the scenes. All of us have the same heart and the same mission to just love people and serve them in health and fitness. And every single day I am reminded what a gift that is, because I came from corporate America where I worked for 10 years and I couldn't openly talk about Jesus in my job. And so the fact that we get to do that is really stinking cool. And I never want a day to go by that I don't thank the Lord for that opportunity to get to do that, because there's a lot of people who don't get to do that. And so I am just so excited that you're here and that you're doing this with us. I want to take a second before we kind of kick off the call, and I hand it over to Ashton, and just do a few little shout outs really quickly for some of our top recruiters and volume earners from last week. So our top recruiter for last week was Shay Mills. Shay has been crushing it. If you guys didn't see, they're having little baby meals. So for all of you who are like, man, Shay's doing so good. Yeah, and she's had like morning sickness and not been wanting to get up and work her business because she hasn't felt well, and she's still showing up. And I'm telling you guys, like, queen of consistency right here is Shay. So shout out to Shay. She was also our top volume earner this past week as well. So that is amazing. And then I unfortunately don't have the total Success Club numbers yet for this past week, but I'll get those up for you guys on the team page, hopefully in the next day. So hopefully everybody, just a few little updates. You saw everything for this week. We've got 2 action hours this week. For those of you who are new and you're like, what is an action hour? This is basically a guided time through the tracker. And it's really cool because everybody kind of does things a little bit differently. I always say that success leaves clues. So if you want to know how to work this business, borrow some belief from another girl on our team, jump on her action hour, listen to how she does this business, and I promise you it's going to be super encouraging for you. You're going to realize how simple it really is. Like, it really is that simple. But these are awesome. I try to get on all of them if I can. Shay's got one on Wednesday at 5:30, and Annabae's got one tomorrow at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So perfect for early morning, or if you're a nap time hustler and you're working in the afternoon, or even after work at 3. So those are happening this week. We've also got Spirit Week. So if you missed that, tag me, y'all. I'm really trying to use the Fit for His Glory handle to like push people back to you guys. So tag me so that I can share it, and that way I can tag you guys. But if you post about Spirit Week or anything like that, even if you just want to tag me and drag it off of the picture, you can totally do that, just so that way then I can at least regram it on my stories. That would be awesome. And we'll do a giveaway based on everybody who participates in that. So that's really exciting. And then just a reminder that this month is the beta phase for all of the Beachbody on-demand live classes. So if you have not jumped on one of those, they are so fun. You do have to sign up in advance for a class and get your spot, but they're also recorded. So if you were a Nutrition Plus member before, which honestly a lot of people were and didn't even realize they were, but if you were a Nutrition Plus member before, then you have access to those. So jump on, try them out, share it with your followers. You'll be amazed at how many people like are interested in live classes that maybe weren't interested in doing a program, which is kind of funny to me because I would think that people would like programs, but some people just love like doing random workouts. So be sharing that, start kind of breadcrumbing that. That's going to be another amazing way that we can kind of meet people where they are, help them just figure out what's best for them and their health and fitness goals. Because believe it or not, some people find programs discouraging because they think they have to work out like every day instead of being like, oh, well, I can just do 3 workouts a week. So it's a really great way to meet people where they're at, and get them plugged into your community, or whatever it is that you're doing. And then the last thing I just wanted to touch on is we are hosting a coach sneak peek on Friday or Thursday and Friday this week. So if you want to plug anybody into that, the page is all set up. And you guys can totally add people into that. So I think that's everything for today as far as announcements go. So I'm going to hand it on over to Ashton. Let me introduce her really quick. Ashton was one of my challengers for like 2 years, maybe longer. I'm pretty sure I invited her to coaching like multiple times. I never really straight up invited her, but I was just like, you'd make a great coach. You'd make a great coach, like just constantly like, hey, just reminder, you'd make a great coach. Because she was like our community hype girl, and so I was like, she could be a great, coach hype girl. But I just saw something in her, and a lot of it honestly was the joy that she had for the Lord and for just stewarding her body well. And I was just like, I think she would make an amazing coach. So anyways, don't give up on people is that kind of rule number one. And I think I even told Kirby, I was like, I started telling people on my team, like, hey, if you talk to Ashton on the Bible study, tell her she'd be a good coach, because we need to confirm that in her. But it's calling out the gold in people, because some people don't see the gold in themselves. So you got to call it out for them. So anyways, I kept calling it out. And anyways, she finally said yes. And she was finally like, I think I might become a coach. And she's done such an amazing job. And I'm excited for you guys to hear from her. She's real. She's authentic. She doesn't like overthink things. And I think that's what makes her a really great coach, is she kind of just does it. And she just meets people where they are. So Ashton, I'm going to throw it over to you and take it away.
Lord Almighty, thank you very much. And I think you just told half of my presentation, so y'all forget everything Caroline just said. We're going to go back through it again. Okay. I love it.
I was just getting them ready, planting some seeds.
Now I'm going to reiterate. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Y'all hold up. So I'm Ashton, like Caroline said, for those of y'all who I don't know. I can't see the present button. And we're going to go over a few things tonight that I feel like has been very beneficial for me as a new coach. So I started in October, so I'm still in my first year of coaching. And for y'all who have been coaching moons before me, this may or may not be helpful for you, but hopefully this will just light a fresh fire and get you fired up. So we are going to start. I have the chat pulled up. We're going to start with I am statements. So if you've been following my journey, I've been doing the Live Hard program. And I completed 75 hard and I moved on to phase 1. And one thing we had to do in phase 1 was part of our program every single day for 10 minutes, uninterrupted. So no phone, no anything going on in the background. You had to visualize for 10 minutes uninterrupted. Y'all, this changed the game for me. Okay. Caroline talks all the time about acting like the coach today that you want to be. You have to show up as that person every day. And an I am statement can be so powerful for you when you recognize where you want to go. You have to be able to see it, smell it, feel it. What do you look like? What does your hair look like? What are you wearing? Who's there with you? Like the woman you want to be in the future, you have to see it, know it, feel it, believe it today. So we're going to do 1 minute of I am statements, and I want y'all popping them off. I want you to put as many as you can in the middle of it, throw them out there, and I'm going to read them out as we go. So be bold, be brave. We are here to support and encourage each other. Throw it out there. If it's what you want, believe it, say it, let's do it. Go. 10-star diamond. Yes. Be brave, girls. Be bold. Everybody. I want 2, 3 from everybody on this call. There should be 50 in here. I'm an elite coach. I'm a 5-star diamond. I'm a diamond coach. I'm an elite coach. Keep it coming. Yes. And I'm an audiologist, diamond coach, diamond coach. Anybody want to be a wife? Anybody want to be successful? Anybody want to be debt free? I say all the time, I am debt free. I'm a leader. Yes. I'm a strong coach. I'm a wife. Yes. An elite coach and debt-free. Yes. A mama, PT, successful coach, 1-star diamond, strong mama, a stay-at-home mom, debt-free. Yes. Loving wife. I love it. Focused. Yes. Present. Strong, successful, productive. Yes. Lots of stay-at-home moms in our future, y'all. Lots of stay-at-home moms. Motivated, consistent, confident. Yes. I love it. Bold. Yes. Confident city girl driving those parkways. You got it. Fearless, disciplined, consistent, changing lives. Yes, Erin. Obedient. I love it. I love it. I love it. So y'all, you have to grasp these I am statements, believe them to your core. This is not a wish. This is not a dream. This is what you are going to become. And until you believe it, no one else is going to believe it. Until you strive for it, push for it, know it's going to happen, that is when your excuses have no room in this life. When this I am statement and your vision is so laser focused, there's nothing that is going to stand between you and everything you just put in this chat. So print it, write it on your mirror, put it in your car. Y'all, this has to be so big in your life that those excuses have no room to get in your way. So that was just a beginning. Now we are going to go into my 3 biggest focuses that helped kickstart my business. So like I said, I'm still in my first year. I definitely don't know everything, but I do think there are 3 things that I have focused on since day one that have really been a game changer to me. And I did see a lot of girls on here that I don't know. So I really hope this is helpful to you girls who, 1, don't know me because this is a little bit of my story, but 2, are still kind of getting the grasp and the feel of what's going on and where do you go and what do you do. So maybe these are 3 things that you can really start praying about, focusing on, implementing, and hopefully will help you start getting in a groove in our coaching business. So let's go. 3 top focuses. Number 1, you have to understand what we have. Okay. What we have, y'all, is so special. And what I mean by what we have is our community, our Christ-centered sisterhood that we have built here, our programs, our nutrition plans. Y'all, we have so much to offer. You have to understand what you're doing and what we are all about. Like, you have to fully grasp it. And we're going to go into depth with that. You have to lean into this community. Okay. There is so much knowledge, encouragement, love. This whole community and all of the women that have gone before me in this community are there to see each and every one of us succeed. So you have to lean into this community because they want to see you be the best. They want to see you be those I am statements, and they are here to help you pave the way to make it to it. But you have to lean in. All right. It's not going to be spoon fed. You have to lean in. And the third one is being consistent. This is probably one of the biggest. Once you understand what we have and why you're here, you have to be consistent. And we're going to talk about all areas of your life and coaching that you have to be consistent in to build trust in people. So if y'all will humor me for a little bit, we are going to talk about our community and it being so special. And I want you to understand that what we have here can change someone's life. Okay. So we're going to start with my story. If that's cool with y'all, I might get a little longer winded than I intend to with this, but I just want y'all to understand where I was, where I came from, who I was, and how, Caroline kind of told you a little bit about me being a challenger, but how I've truly been transformed through this community. And I really hope this sticks with you. I hope if this is not your story, I hope my story sticks with you, and it's just powerful when you move forward in your business. So we're going to start the next slide with some photos that I am not so proud of. Okay. I'm just going to warn you. And my story, I'm not so proud of, but I think it's powerful and I think it's impactful. So here we go. So most of these photos, I actually don't remember them being taken of me. So I'm going to go way, way back on my story. And I grew up in Illinois, was always a believer, went to church when I was little, went to church alone. My family didn't go to church. But I was strong in my faith all through youth group, and I moved to Alabama. Really didn't get plugged in with a church in the South. So I really started partying in high school. All through college, I was the party girl. And I'm going to preface this because I'm going to make myself sound worse than I was, but I was not an alcoholic. I was definitely not dependent, but I loved to party. And I was definitely the party girl. I was introduced as the party girl. Like, all of my friends would introduce me as the girl who could outdrink everybody in the room. And that was kind of where I found my identity. Was I was this girl who could outdrink the guys, and I was this girl who could stay up later than everybody else. So after college, I worked as a nurse, and I started travel nursing for several years. And so I moved to amazing cities. Like, I lived in Boston, San Francisco, San Diego. I was moving all across the country and living what I thought was my best life, y'all. I was drinking all the wine. I was going to all these fancy rooftop bars. I was spending all of my money. I made twice as much money back then as I do now. Okay. I was spending all of my money. I was drinking all of my money, and I was just living this amazing life. And like I said, most of these photos, I don't even remember them being taken of me. Okay. Not proud of it, but I just thought, I was living this lush life, and I thought this was what being successful and living your best life looked like. So I traveled for a few years, and I got homesick and decided to move back to Alabama where my family lived. And abruptly, my life stopped, and I was no longer going to these fancy restaurants. I was now back in close to my family, and I was in a stable job where I wasn't moving all the time. And I realized real quick that I was hiding behind this lifestyle. And I realized real quick I had gained 30 pounds. I was miserable because I couldn't breathe because my belly was so big. And I was still drinking too much. I don't remember much on Sunday. And I was like, this cannot be it. Like, I'm miserable. I always feel like crap because I drank so much. And I was like, this just got to be something else, right? And I realized, like, I'm drinking and partying because I'm miserable, and I'm hiding behind all of this. So I followed Caroline through a friend of a friend, and I was following her on Instagram, and it's kind of the same as y'all's story where we watched and we watched and we watched. And I was like, I don't know what this chick is doing, but that was back when on her Instagram stories, every morning was, it's a good morning, wake up. And literally I was like, I have to figure out what this song is. Like, I got to figure out what she's drinking in the mornings. And so I just watched, and I was like, she has this joy, and like, she's working hard. She's doing all these things. And that was back when she was working full time and she only had one kid. And, but I was like, she's doing all these things, and somehow she seems happy. And I sleep till 7 when I have to be at work at 7:15. I'm freaking miserable. So something's got to give. So I reached out to her. I joined a challenge group. I went all in. And let me tell you, y'all, I was lost as a goose at the time. Again, this whole experience and everything I just explained to you, I knew God was there. Okay. I believed in God. I knew He loved me. And I knew that there would be a day that God and I would discuss what was going on. I knew it was going to happen, but I loved where I was at, or I thought I loved where I was at. And I was a sinner who was just striving in my sin. Okay. And I knew there was going to be a day that God and I would discuss it. Well, I jumped into Morning Meltdown with 100 with Caroline and her group, and we coupled it with a book, 100 Days to Brave. And so I was like, all right, Ashton, we're getting up in the morning. We're going to read this little bitty book, and we're going to do our 30-minute workout every day before work. Never had I ever done that in my entire life. Quiet time was not a thing. Okay. I had a Bible. I journaled in it every once in a while, but never did that. I went all in, y'all. I went in with this book. I went in with the workouts. I finished the program. I was on cloud 9. I kept going through programs with Caroline and her group. Fast forward to MBF and the Redefined study. And there were several days where, first of all, that book is so powerful if you've never gone through it, but there were several days that Caroline, Kirby, and I were the only ones on Bible study. And it was just so impactful to me. The whole time I was a challenger, God was refining me through this community. Okay. And Caroline and I had never had this conversation, right? She had no idea that this stuff was going on in my heart. She didn't look at me and say, Ashton, you got to change your ways. She didn't look at me and say, Ashton, we got to be talking to Jesus more. Okay. No, she showed up in her own journey. It poured out into me, and God used this community to refine me. Okay. It's not the coach's job to do the refining. It's God's job, but she just opened up a place for God to move. And it was so, so powerful for me that I remember having the conversation with my mom, and I'm like, Mom, I think I need to be a coach. And she was like, you think? She's like, excuse me, ma'am. Like, you are no longer the Ashton that I was worried about. You are no longer the Ashton that I was scared might not come home at night. And she said, you have to tell your story. You have to share this. And she was like, Ashton, you have been so profoundly impacted that somebody else needs this, and you have to tell this story. Okay. So God brought this community, crossed my path in the instant that I needed it. He also brought a church family into my life, which I finally joined a church and got involved. And it's just been like, it saved my life. I mean, I was one more attempt of drunken driving to maybe not coming home someday. And it took faith and fitness. Like, it took a corporate Beachbody company to change and wreck my life in the absolute best way. So all of that to say, I have had a full transformation. So you have to understand what we have here. Okay. You have to know it deep in your core. There are people like me out there who need this community. Okay. You have to know why you are here. I know why I'm here. You have to know why you're here. And you have to know it so deep in your core that everything you do in this business, every action hour you show up for, every invite you send is because of why you're here. Okay. And if you don't know why you're here, and if you don't have this strong thing that's eating your gut, as Caroline says, you got to get on your face and you got to talk to God about it, because you need to figure out why you're here. And it needs to be so big that it is the first thing you wake up and think about in the morning. Y'all, we are not just selling products. We are changing people's lives. We are bringing God into this world where people can be the best versions of themselves and chase the Lord. We have something that changes someone's life. We have something that can save someone's life. Okay. I can't see the bottom of my thing, so I have to see what I put here. Sorry, I gotta move y'all. So you have to know how special it is, and you have to understand why you're here. So that way, everything you do in this business is changed out of this lens of, who am I touching? Who needs this joy? Who needs this community? And like I said, maybe your story is not my story, but there might be a woman out there who is so far in debt that she can't see straight and she needs an income. Or might be a woman who is sitting on her couch, who doesn't have a community, battling her own depression, who needs to be sitting where you are tonight. And until you recognize what we have and what we can offer people, you get stuck in your head, as Caroline said. Like, you get held back and it puts you in a funk. But once you see what it can do and what it can do for somebody that you haven't even met yet, that's when you find it, y'all. So when you're inviting, and I want you to, tomorrow or the next action hour you do, if you hop on with Anna Bay tomorrow, when you're inviting somebody to join our community, you have to take yourself out of it. You have to take emotion out of it, because what we have can save their life. You don't know where they are. You don't know what's on the other side of that invite. You don't know what's going on in their life. And they may need to be sitting where you are to save their life, y'all. This is not about you anymore. This is about inviting them into this community. That was number one. Number two, you have to lean into this community. So when I first started as a coach, and I really think this 100% is what helped me like kickstart initially my business. When I was a new coach, I was so intentional about reaching out to everybody in this community, meeting them, learning about them, learning from them. Y'all, all you new coaches, or I don't know how long everybody's been a coach on here, you cannot depend on your upline to do this job for you. Okay. Everybody is busy on this call. Everybody is running their own business, but everybody is willing to help you. Everybody on this call is willing to help you, but you have to be intentional about reaching out, introducing yourself. I know there are several of you on here that I message you on Instagram. I'm like, hey, I'm one of Caroline's new coaches. Just wanted to say, hey, you have to be intentional. And what we have here is so special. The leaders on this team, y'all, have been there, done that, know it, got the t-shirt. All you have to do is ask. The resources that we are spoon-fed on this team, y'all, there is so much offered in this community. You have to get involved. You have to get on Zoom every opportunity you have. Okay. You should be on this call right now, watching it live. If you're watching the recording, next Monday, you need to be on it live. You have to lean in. Okay. Action hours. That's the gold standard of learning how to run this business. And as Caroline said, everybody does it different. Learn from the best. Get on with the leaders. Y'all, we have the champions page where we have the opportunity to do live action hours with top coaches, people who are outside of this community. You can learn, you can grow, you can ask questions. When I was a brand new coach, I remember even when my fall decorations were up, y'all saw I decorated for fall yesterday, but when my fall decorations were up, I remember saying, I don't even know how to invite somebody. So I'd put in the chat, what do I say for an invite? Well, plenty of people hopped on and answered my questions. You have to get on these action hours. And if you're watching them recording, you can't ask questions. Okay. You have to get on Zoom. This is a business, y'all. You have to prioritize your time to show up and lean in to this community. And you have got to get a purpose partner. You have to have somebody that you can lean into that says, listen, sister, I'm here. We're doing this. We're running. We're leaning in. We're getting it. I am thankful that I have two. Sam and Erica and I have been together through this since October. Y'all, we text every single day, multiple times a day. We pray for each other. We cry with each other. We're frustrated. We celebrate. You have to have somebody running this race with you because it is hard. It is not an easy race, especially that first year. I don't know what year 2 looks like, but year 1 was a struggle. So you have to have somebody who's ready to do this with you, to learn it, to fumble, to throw out ideas. My next slide, I'm getting too excited. This might step on your toes, but if you feel like you are an island doing this alone, that's on you. Because this team is so full of amazing women, resources, a community that loves you. Like I said in the beginning, every leader, every coach on this team wants to see the rest of us succeed. There is not one person on here who is frustrated with your questions. Okay. But there is, like I said, there's everybody on here who wants to help you and wants to see you succeed. So if you feel like you're doing it on your own, you got to reprioritize and you got to see where are you putting your intentions and where are you not leaning in. Okay. So sorry if that was harsh, but it's true. I can't see the chat, so I don't know if there's questions. You can holler at me if there's questions. Okay, number 3. How am I doing on time? I'm doing good. Be consistent. Again, I might step on some toes with this slide, but you have got to be consistent. That is definitely one thing that I told myself when I started this business is I want to be somebody that these people trust. So I'm building this world on Instagram. I chose to do that. Nobody made me decide to build a business on Instagram. I chose. So it is my responsibility to freaking show up. Okay. It is my responsibility to do the work because I chose to be here. Nobody's pulling your ear and making you show up on Instagram. You chose to be here, or Facebook, or however you run your business, but you have to be consistent. Okay. You have to be consistent in your own journey. If you want people to buy Shakeology, are you drinking Shakeology every day? If you want people to do the workouts and join your programs, are you doing your workouts when you're supposed to? We are building a business around our own journey. Now, I'm not saying you have to lose 40 pounds. I'm not saying you have to be perfect. None of us are perfect, but we have to be consistent. And it doesn't have to be perfect every single day, every single week, but over time, your people who are watching, following, buying in, they only buy in when they see you show up. They only buy in when they trust you. And we are trying to ultimately we're trying to get them to spend their money, right? They have to buy into our community to join a challenge group. They're not going to pay you if they don't trust you. And they're not going to pay you if they think, oh, well, I might join her in a week. She's going to fall off the wagon like she did last week. And I see her show up here and then I see her show up there, but she's not very consistent. Nobody's going to join you. You have to be consistent in showing up on social media. And I'm not saying you have to show up every day. I'm not saying you have to show your whole life on social media. If you want to take a Sabbath on the Saturday night, you peace out to your followers and say, by the way, I'm off social media tomorrow. Have a great day. If you want to take a week off of social media for vacation, you tell your followers, by the way, I'm off for the next week. Have a great day. And they won't think they'll trust you, right? You didn't just disappear. You're still showing up exactly what they wanted. Y'all have known I'm fasting social media from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. right now. So I'm not posting my morning routine. My followers know why. Okay. Because I told them, they knew what to expect, and I'm building trust in them. This is one thing I'm learning. And I talked to a lot of coaches at Summit about this, is you have to share about your coaching business every single day on social media. So if you're doing an action hour, tell your followers you're doing an action hour. If you're checking in with your challenge group, tell your followers you're checking in with your challenge group. If you want them to build a business with you, they have to see that they can do it. So they have to see what it is. They have to see what they're getting into. Or if they're busy and work full time at the hospital like me, they have to see that they can do it. What does that look like? You have to share it. And your challenge groups. If you want people to show up in your challenge groups, you have to show up in your challenge groups. You have to encourage them. You have to go live. You have to share the content. Y'all, you have to, Walla said in my workout yesterday, I'm going to break bread with you. That's what he said. He was like, I'm going to break bread with you. I'm going to hit the paint with you. Your people need to know that you're going to break bread with them. Your people need to know that when the times get tough and you're tired and they're exhausted and they need encouragement, you're going to freaking show up, because you always do. You have to build that trust. You have to show them. And like I said, nobody made us decide to share our lives on social media. We did. So if that's what you decided to do to build this business, you have to do it. You have to be hype. You have to be real. You have to be relatable. You can't be this perfect, I do my workout every time, on time, this and that, because that's not your life. Like, you can't show that if that's not your life. And I guarantee you, people can see right through it. Okay. People can see when you're being real, and people can see when you're only sharing your highlight reel. You have to be real and you have to be relatable. And again, if you don't build their trust, they will not join you. Okay. Consistent in your own journey, in showing up on social media, in sharing about coaching, and in your challenge groups. Anywhere where you hope and pray that somebody who joins you will show up, you better be showing up yourself. And what I want to point out specifically, y'all. So our first point is, what do we have here? We have something that can change someone's life. So think about it this way. Your consistency can lead to changing someone's life. If you are showing up every single day, Caroline showed up every morning and she made her go-go juice and she played the same dang song every day. Like, if you are showing up every single day, you're building trust. And that second they trust you, they're going to come to you when they need something. That second that they think, you know what, maybe it's time that I get my life together. I need help. Who can I go to? You know what? Ashton's always doing this stuff. I see her. I'm going to go to her. That second they trust you is when you open the door to invite them to this world. And when they step in this community, they will never leave without being impacted. Never. There's no way. And if you think about when you wake up in the morning to share your morning routine, you think about the girl who is watching, who needs her life saved. And your consistency every single day, showing up every single day, can save someone's life. Someone who needs to walk away from whatever they're in because you're showing up every day and showing them there's an opportunity for a better way, they can be transformed, fully transformed. And one thing I think is really important, and this is kind of goofy, but when I started 75 Hard, Andy Frisella is the guy who created it. He talks in his podcast where for years on his social media, he ran his own Instagram, and he was like, I literally did the same thing every day. Anybody who watched my Instagram literally saw the same 5 tasks, which are now 75 Hard, every single day. And you know what? People bought in because they trusted him and they saw him showing up. So I think it's important even to use the same verbiage when you're on your stories. Say the same stuff over and over. Everybody knows that I say, let's go. People quote me now and they're like, in the words of Ashton, let's go. People know I call my dog Big Booty Judy. That's not even her name. And everybody knows that I call her Big Booty Judy because I say it over and over and over. And you build trust when someone's at home and they're sitting on their couch and they're like, I need to figure out something like to do better in my life. Well, Ashton walks Big Booty Judy every day. Maybe I should go out for a walk. Like, you have to be so consistent that you're in their mind. So when they need something, you're the person they want to run to. That's when you bring them here. And that's when we can transform their life. All you have to do is open the door. God is going to move. Okay. This is a place where God moves. All you have to do is open up the door. But like Caroline said, when you are so inside your head and you're so frustrated and you're so this and you're so that, you're no longer looking at that girl who is sitting on her couch who needs to be in this community. That's where your focus is. Your I am statement should be focused on who are you serving? And it's that girl sitting on the couch that needs this. And I told Caroline this in our mentorship. A lot of the coaches on here are like on their stories, they're like, I'm looking for girls who are passionate with faith and fitness. And I want people who are passionate to join me. That was not me at all. Like, faith and fitness were nowhere in my life. I was someone who had no idea this is what I needed. And that's who I'm looking for to join my team. Yes, I want girls who are passionate about this to help me run this race, but I want to impact people's lives and change their lives. And that is who I'm looking for, are the girls who need this so deep in their soul. So just remember, your consistency every single day can save someone's life, y'all. Okay, I put in a bonus, which we have a little time. That was my 3 points. I'm going to quickly go through the chat just to see if there's questions before we do the bonus.
Just a lot of talking about how good the call is.
Okay, I don't think there's questions. Okay, so I just quickly wanted to give you a few takeaways from 75 Hard since we have a few minutes, and then I will hush up. So 75 Hard, for those of y'all who don't know, is a task list of like 5 tasks that you have to do every day. It's pretty time consuming. And if you screw up, you have to start over. Yeah. So with the 75 Hard, and I'm doing the entire Live Hard program. So 75 Hard is just the boot camp. With the whole program, y'all, you are not in my living room. Okay. You don't know what I do when I am not on Instagram. I could literally be sitting on my couch and telling you that I did 2 workouts a day, right? It is about building integrity to yourself. Okay. It is so much easier for us to put on this face and this facade with the world and with Instagram. But when you sit down with yourself and you're like, okay, I'm about to build integrity. I want to get brutally honest with myself. Ashton, did you okay, let's say it's the end of the month and I haven't hit Success Club. It's time to get brutally honest with myself. What did I do to get me where I'm sitting? Because it didn't just happen. I did or didn't do something to get me there. And what 75 Hard taught me is there is so much freedom when you get brutally honest with the girl in the mirror. Okay. You have to strip it down. You have to say, listen, I know you didn't put in the work. I was there. You can't keep putting this on with yourself and just acting like you're doing the work. You know you're not, or that you are, right? So 75 Hard made me build integrity in myself because no one was holding me accountable for me. But for me, I could have easily blown it off and I didn't. And that's huge for me. Y'all saw the pictures in the beginning. Okay. Like, this was not my lifestyle before entering this community. What I also learned is we do not have time for doubt. Okay. These I am statements, if you're truly chasing them, doubt is only going to put you 5 steps backwards. God brought you here for a reason. God placed a purpose on your life, and to doubt it and to worry and to stress, that is taking your purpose out of his hands and jumbling it up like a piece of paper. Absolutely not. We have to trust. We can't have doubt. He's brought us to us. He's going to equip us. He's going to teach us. He's going to refine us. He's going to help us grow. Like, we cannot doubt what is going on. It's not always going to be perfect. There's going to be a ton of bumps in the road. But when you doubt yourself, that's when you start over. That's when the second doubt happens in 75 hard. That's when those girls start back to day one. We have no time for doubt if we are chasing those I am statements. And the third thing is you have to master the mundane. Okay. The tasks, the things, the list, it ain't fun. Okay. It's actually unfun. Life is not always fun, but the purpose of the Live Hard program is to unlock the most elite version of yourself. Okay. Mentally, physically, spiritually for me. But you have to recognize that unlocking the most elite version of yourself is doing the crap every single day. And the people who are willing to show up every single day and their day to look exact same from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day, those are the people who are building a legacy. Those are the people who are building something to stand on. Okay. You cannot say, you know what? I'm tired of the tracker. I'm not doing it today. You can't say that. You're building a legacy. You're chasing your I am statement. You have to create your own joy in the mundane because it ain't going to be there. And the good Lord would love to give it to you, but it's not always sitting there. Okay. You have to create it for yourself in the tasks that you're doing every single day. And when you can unlock this person who will show up every day, who will do the task list, even when it's horrible, do the task list when there's no joy at the other end of it. When you can do that every single day, you are starting to unlock the most elite version of yourself. And that is where you're building your legacy, and you will stand on that when you get to those I am statements. So you have to understand that the task list is there for a reason, and you have to do it. You have to show up. You have to do it without joy, with joy, whatever your day looks like, you have to do it. And I think that gets us to the end. So remember, this week, remember what we have to your core. It has to be so strong that it puts your stomach in knots. Lean into this community. Show up on Zoom every opportunity that you have. And I work full time, y'all. I understand that you can't show up every time you want to because I'm at my job when a lot of the Zoom is going on, but I still show up. You all see me pretty regularly, okay? And I worked full time and did 75 hard outside of that and still leaned into this community because I know how powerful and impactful it is. And be consistent. Again, no one is pulling your hair to be here. But if you're going to be here, do it with integrity, be consistent, make them trust you, make them see when times are hard, Ashton's going to be standing there. Caroline's going to be standing there. Emily's going to be standing there. When I need something, I know they're going to show up because they are consistent and they are putting in the work. That's all I got.
Oh my goodness, Ashton.
I got heated. I made myself red in the face.
I took so many notes, and I'm pretty sure I screenshotted a few of your slides because I was like, that's good. I'm going to screenshot that. So good. So good. Okay. Before we kind of wrap things up, does anybody have any questions for Ashton? You can unmute yourself
please,
or drop
throw them out.
Like we said, success leaves clues. So anybody want to know how she does anything or?
So how did you?
Oh, I think she froze.
Oh, Erin, you froze.
Oh, I think she's gone.
So one girl, yes,
Dana
go to that.
About Redefine. It's by the Well Watered Women Company, and I do a freedom curriculum through my church, and I feel like Redefine follows a lot of that. It's your identity. It's so good.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite studies.
Connecting and inviting process. So I, again, take the emotion out of it. And every invite I send, I remember who I was and try to figure out who the girl is in front of me that I'm inviting. But y'all, I am a connecting fiend. Okay. How I'm talking to you is how I talk to a stranger on Instagram. I take emotion out of it. I try to get to know them. I constantly am. I told Caroline, I think we need to add to the tracker to be social on social media. It's easy to do your work and then get off of it. Y'all have to be liking, commenting, reaching out, encouraging, remembering what you talked to them about before so you can reference it back. That is very important to people. If you remember, and praise God, Instagram's helpful. But if you're talking to somebody and they ask for prayer requests at one point, a week later, reach back out. Ask them, how whatever was happening going on. Sometimes I'll randomly scroll and just stop in my DMs and see what's lingering way back when, and just check in with people. You have to be social on social media. And like I said, they can definitely see when you're being fake and putting up a front. You got to be yourself. You got to be real, and you have to be, I don't know, consistent. I don't really
Aaron
know.
and I were talking about this today because I'll be real. It's hard for me to remember everything just because there are so many people. But she was saying she will usually put it, if someone tells her oh, I'm having a surgery this day, or I'm this prayer request, she'll just put it in her calendar for that day as a reminder to text that person. Cause I think we all have good intentions. We want to do that, but it's just, it is hard to remember sometimes. But I thought that was a great little easy way to just kind of keep it top of mind.
Great. Any other questions? I don't think Aaron Holcomb came back.
Oh yeah, mine broke as soon as I asked, so I'm back.
What did you ask? I didn't hear you.
Oh, I was just asking how have you, I guess, mastered focusing on consistency over perfection? Is there any things that you found mindset wise to make that shift?
So one thing I did when I was a new coach that I really try to avoid now is re-filming my stories. When I was a new coach, would listen back. I'm like, oh, that's horrible. And I'd start it over. I'm like, oh, that's horrible. I'd start it over. Well, by the end, I no longer even sounded like myself. And I was watching them back that's not even me. I'm more real when it's raw. So, and I do think, I just think that is my character, is to be raw and share authentic. And I can talk to a brick wall. So it comes easy for me to share just who I am. But definitely don't remake all your stuff over and over and over. Just as long as everything is accurate, film it, send it, let it go, because that's your most authentic self.
Amber Kuiper is a top coach. She's a 15-star diamond, and that's the same thing for her. She said she never refilms stuff because it's a time sucker. But then also you just kind of overthink it. I think sometimes too, if you're a person that's not super, because here's the deal. I think it is easy to, and Ashton, I'm going to use you as an example because you have a very outgoing personality. So there's probably girls on this call who are well, Ashton attracts people because she's super joyful and she's excited, and that's not me. And I want to be more like that. Well, I think there's a combination of that there of number one, don't try to be somebody you're not. You know what I mean? If you're not all the time, then not that you're
Yes.
but you get my
No,
point.
I completely agree with that.
Don't feel the pressure to be that. Cause I've been in Bible studies with girls before, and they're I just wish I was like that girl. And I'm but that's good that you want to have the joy of the Lord. That's one thing, but also don't feel you need to alter your personality because God just didn't maybe make you like that. You know what I mean? So I think there's a combination of being okay with that and owning that, being confident in who you are and who God's called you to be. But then there is a part of it that's well, you still don't want to get on your stories and just be hey guys, you know what I mean? You do want to kind of be okay, I'm going to get on my stories. I'm going to hop on here. I'm going to make this video. Maybe you do it right after you drink your Energize. I feel I'm always better on my stories when I'm talking about challenge groups and stuff like that, when I'm sipping on my Energize, or right after a workout, just because I'm more energized. Whereas if I'm sitting around in my house and been working on my computer and I'm right. That's not going to be a fun, exciting way to show up. So
talk your stories like you talk to your dog. Then you'll be okay.
Or if you don't have a dog like me, then
yeah, or your kids or your spouse, these, and you, I think too, you have to look at it as a screen. But there are so many people like excited to see what you have to say. Like you might think you're annoying and whatever, you're not. Like people are invested, they're watching. They're not going to click on your stories if they're not invested in watching. So just show up as you. And one point, and I'm going to call her out, but Sam and I have this conversation all the time. And she's just like, I just don't have the energy you have all the time. And I'm like, yeah, but you have a way to like speak to someone's soul on your stories. I don't have that. Okay. I'm bubbly and this and that. I can't pop you in the soul like Sam can. So she owns that and uses that. And that's how she draws people and connects with people. And I can't like speak to you seriously on it very often, honestly. And Sam can. So you have to see who you are and you have to be that on your stories.
One other thing I'll say really quickly about this too, and then I promise I'll be done. But Julie Kemp is an amazing coach, and I feel like she's just very joyful, very like just, and something she told me is that she actually like she'll get ready like a couple days a week, but on one of the days when she gets ready and her kids are out of the house or like her husband's there watching them, she'll film a video and she'll talk all about her challenge group. She'll get super pumped. She'll drink her Energize right before and then she'll just like, make sure she knows all the details and she just gets into it. And she actually uses that same story. Like she'll post it Monday and Wednesday and Friday, and then she might even post it the next week. She uses that same story and just posts it with her challenge group, like every day on her story, not every day, but like every other day. So, I mean, I think that's another thing too, is like, we don't need to always, I mean, like if that works for you, like then do it. I reuse captions all the time. Like when I'm in a funk or like with reels, like if I'm not able to think of something for Instagram, I'll go back to Fit for His Glory posts from like a year or two ago and just use the same caption or in like a different photo, or like use that post and turn it into a reel.
Rob Johnson even says that. He was like, he
Yeah.
said that he posted the same thing like over the month and it got more likes every time.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I used to struggle with that, but Michelle Myers told me this. She's like, God's word is never void. So if he gave it to you, even if it was a year ago and you're just saying it again, like the Lord's going to still use it. You know what I mean? Like it's never void. And so if some people are like, oh, well, I feel bad doing that, but it's like, it was a great post and you probably had less followers then. So now there's going to be new people who see it, so.
Well, I hope this was helpful. I kind of got a little preachy, but I hope
No, this was
we found some
amazing.
encouragement and some fire in this. So
Ashton, do you want to pray over everybody before we hop off? Let's take a photo really quick and then you can pray and then let everybody go.
Also, I'm just going to throw this out there. Never, ever, ever prayed out loud until I joined this community. So just saying.
Love how I'm like, hey, you want to pray?
Oh, I do it now, but never had until I got in here.
I love it. Okay, well, everybody smile. 1, 2, 3. Y'all are so cute. I love this team. I have a hard time going to bed after team calls because I'm like so pumped. And I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, I have a 3:50 wake up call and I drank Energize at 7. So here we are.
Wait, 3:50?
Yeah, girl, I gotta be at the church at 6 and 6:45 is 45 minutes long.
Oh my goodness. Lord, let's just pray for you to live.
We'll be all right. Okay, let's pray. Oh, Lord, I just come to you, God, so thankful, Lord. And you hear my prayers every day, how thankful I am for this community, God. And just so thankful, Lord, that you have created this space that lives can be changed through our community. And God, what a blessing that you are using me, that you are using every girl on this call to build your kingdom. Like I am just in awe at the things that you can do with our lives, with our hearts, with our minds. And I'm just so thankful, God, that you chose us, you called us, you asked us, you trust us to live out our calling to build your kingdom, God. And I just pray a blessing over every girl who can hear my voice, whether it's live or on a recording, God. Just calm their hearts, Lord. Help them have this burning fire in their gut for why they're here, understanding what we have and how it can truly change lives, God. Let us remember all we have to do is open the door. all we have to do is open the door, invite them in. And God, you told us in church the other day that if we can build a bridge, you will cross it. So all we have to do, God, is build that bridge to open the door for these women who don't even know they need this community yet, God. But let us build a bridge, open the door, and let you meet them where they are. So we thank you, God, for this business and this company who allows this kind of group to just grow and flourish. And we thank you, God, that we are going to be top coaches in this business, God, and you're going to use our story on that platform. So we thank you that we can do these daily tasks to build this platform to stand on. So one day when we are there, people will hear our story and be encouraged and be changed through it, God. So we just thank you for your love. We thank you for the calling. We thank you for your ever pushing direction, God. And your presence in our lives. We invite you into this week, and we just pray, Lord, that you can keep us steady and focused. In your precious name I pray, amen.
Amen. Thanks, Ashton. You're amazing. We love you. Thanks,
No
everybody,
problem.
for being on. I'll
Thanks
post the
for listening
recording.
to me rant.
Love you, girl. Thanks for sharing.
Amazing.
Bye.
So good.